What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news update video, and we have a huge update on Kvaratskhelia because Liverpool are seriously interested in signing him, and we are already starting talks with Napoli for the transfer of Kvaratskhelia, and Sky Sports and David Lynch provided huge massive updates on this transfer saga, which we already reported that very reliable journalists David Ornstein and Paul Joyce have confirmed Liverpool's interest and Liverpool's want of signing Kvaratskhelia. Now Sky Sports delivered the latest update on Liverpool's pursuit. Liverpool's interest is real, no formal contact at the moment, but we know that Liverpool are just monitoring the transfer window at the moment. There is a lot of talk and speculation about players potentially leaving. We all know about the big three stars who have yet to sign a new contract, and their contract situation, of course, is on the agenda at Liverpool, but they are just keeping an eye on the market, and David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano already confirmed that Liverpool are interested in Kvaratskhelia, and at the moment it looks like that Chiesa might be going the other way because Napoli are interested in Chiesa. Chiesa would be perhaps the most likely player to leave Liverpool in the January transfer window and return to Italy, possibly even part of a swap deal. It could be a masterstroke in the market. And we also have journalist David Lynch, who spoke on his YouTube channel. If there is an opportunity there, then Liverpool want to be all over it, because we have been admiring Kvaratskhelia for years and we have been monitoring him, scouting him for years. David Lynch explained that a lot needs to come together for any move for Kvaratskhelia, who is valued at £67 million, to come to fruition. Yes, Paris Saint-Germain can offer Kvaratskhelia huge wages, but they are not willing to pay 80 million euros for Kvaratskhelia, and that's where Liverpool's strength comes in. I spoke to a source at Liverpool yesterday, David Lynch said, and this is a source inside Liverpool, and the way they put it to me really was that a lot needs to happen for this deal to come together. There are quite a few moving parts. Obviously the fact that other clubs are interested is one of those moving parts, and this is very much a player Liverpool absolutely like. He fits the profile perfectly. He's 23 years old, so he's on the kind of brink of where you expect his peak years to be. He has scored a lot of goals at a high level, not just Serie A, but also the Champions League. He has won trophies, so he knows what it's all about. He's a winner, so a lot to like about the player. And the fact is, even though, as I say, a lot needs to come together, I think the bottom line of what was said to me is, if there is an opportunity there, then Liverpool want to be all over it, because this is a player that they have liked for quite some time. And it was a similar situation with Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz, which we will explore a lot more in detail in this video, that Liverpool liked them for a long time, and when another club approached the player, then Liverpool were all over the deal and they brought it forward, and we signed Luis Diaz because Tottenham were interested in him, and we signed Cody Gakpo because Man United were interested in him. It does seem that an opportunity is about to arise, because we know and we have seen the reports that Paris Saint-Germain are sniffing around the player. Paris Saint-Germain are already in talks with Napoli, and Sky Italia reported that PSG and Napoli are advancing their talks, but so far no agreement yet, which leaves Liverpool room to jump in and potentially outbid Paris Saint-Germain and get the player, because PSG are not going to pay 80 million euros, it looks like. And David Lynch has a very good point in that those talks with Paris Saint-Germain would not be ongoing if Napoli were taking the stance that they don't want to sell the player. So Kvaratskhelia is for sale. Napoli wants to sell him either in January or in the summer, because he's not going to sign a new contract and they don't want to lose out on a lot of money. So I think that shows, and it gives encouragement to other clubs that are out there, that Kvaratskhelia is on the market. And reports suggested that PSG offered just 45 million euros, which is 38 million pounds. So Liverpool can easily outbid that. And when a fee is agreed between PSG and Napoli, that's when Liverpool could sweep in. That's what David Lynch is saying. This is something that Liverpool have done before. This is an approach we have seen them take previously. I remember back when Luis Diaz joined Liverpool in the January transfer window, Tottenham went as far as agreeing a fee with Porto before Liverpool eventually eventually pounced. I think what they did in that situation, I think this is a similar approach they will take this time around, is allow Tottenham to do all the legwork really before diving in and making their move. So Liverpool just want to see what kind of transfer fee Paris Saint-Germain agree with Napoli, and then Liverpool can swoop in and outbid them by maybe 5 to 10 million pounds. So we are not massively overpaying for Kvaratskhelia, allowing Tottenham to find out what fee Porto would agree in that case, and then be ready to make the move. So I think it's going to be a similar approach here, find out what it would take for Napoli to sanction a sale, and then dive in and get the player. And this is an actual transcript of David Lynch's transfer news update, where he said that what I can say is throw my personal weight behind the interest of Liverpool in Kvaratskhelia. It very much also is my understanding that Liverpool are monitoring the situation, and it's clear that Napoli are closer to selling Kvaratskhelia than any time before, because it's a perfect example really of an opportunity signing potentially popping up for Liverpool. We know Richard Hughes used that in his unveiling in a press conference that Liverpool will be opportunistic in the transfer market. This is a really good example of where they could be opportunistic and get a player that potentially they weren't going to sign in January, but because he's on the market, Liverpool want to pounce on him. So Kvaratskhelia has 2.5 years left on his contract, which means that if Napoli don't sell him now or in the summer, then he's entering the last 2 years, and then his value is diminishing, because if a player only has 1 year left on his contract, then you can negotiate a 20-30 million euro bargain off his price, which means that Napoli would lose out on a lot of money, and they are not in a great financial situation. The whole Serie A is struggling compared to the Premier League for finances, and compared to maybe the top 3 clubs in La Liga as well. So they can't afford to risk losing out on a lot of money when it comes to this Kvaratskhelia contract situation. And David Lynch confirms that we have seen clubs get into this situation where you get to that 2.5 years left on a player's contract, and then you really want to sell a player, or you feel you have to do it because over the next 2 windows Napoli feel that they have to sell Kvaratskhelia. So David Lynch says that all I will say is that Liverpool aren't in talks with Napoli at the moment. It's very much Paris Saint-Germain who are taking the lead on that. Paris Saint-Germain are willing to offer 45 million euros, but Liverpool's strategy is we wait for PSG to agree a transfer fee, and then we swoop in, we bid a similar amount, and then we have to just convince Kvaratskhelia to sign for Liverpool instead of Paris Saint-Germain, which I think won't be that tough of a conversation, because Mamardashvili is already coming to Liverpool. He's already, an international teammate and a good friend of Kvaratskhelia. And Liverpool and the Premier League are a much brighter, much more exciting prospect than playing in the French league. No disrespect to PSG, they are a great club, rich club, but they are playing in the French league, and that's never going to be as competitive as the Premier League. So Liverpool have time, because at the moment the valuation of PSG is 45 million, the valuation that Napoli want is 80 million, so there is a big gap in that. So Liverpool have time, maybe even a few weeks to see how this plays out, and we can always come in and get Kvaratskhelia. And you get very much the sense really that Liverpool are basically waiting in the wings. And I already explained the situation that happened with Luis Diaz, that Tottenham did all the legwork, agreed the transfer fee, and Liverpool swooped in and agreed the similar transfer fee and with Porto, and then Luis Diaz of course chose Liverpool instead of Tottenham. So, and then David Lynch points out, obviously the conversation is about convincing Kvaratskhelia that Liverpool would be the best destination for him, and I think in terms of being able to do that, Liverpool have got a lot on their side, haven't they? They are top of the Premier League, they are top of the Champions League, and they have Premier League football and Champions League football to offer for Kvaratskhelia. Obviously the Premier League is a far better league than the French league. I think Liverpool, you would say they were a better bet to go on and win the biggest honors in this coming season. Paris Saint-Germain are guaranteed to win the French league, but they are not guaranteed to win the Champions League. That's what I was meant to say. Of course, he's not going to stay at Napoli if he moves in the January transfer window. PSG look much further away from winning the Champions League than they have have for a long time, really, in recent years. They are taking a very different approach to how they build their team. They are basing that on young players because their Galactico idea failed spectacularly. The Premier League is just the biggest league in the world. It's the best playing league in the world. It's the one that has the most eyes on it. It's the one where you want to test yourself as a player. It's much more appealing than the French league. So I think you've got to throw all that in and say that Liverpool have a really strong case here. Chelsea are also said that they are monitoring the situation, but Liverpool look a much better prospect, don't they, for winning trophies this season. And also another connection, Mamardashvili, who is going to be a Liverpool player this summer. They went through the same academy, youth academy, as Kvaratskhelia did. So I think Liverpool got quite a few things on their side in terms of convincing the player. But we are still a bit away from that because PSG need to agree a fee so that Liverpool then know what they are aiming for, what kind of transfer fee they are aiming for. And yes, Liverpool are well stocked in the attacking department. We have 6 attackers. They are ready really to sell Ben Doak this window because they know there's no opportunities going to arise for him. And Liverpool are just future-proofing their attack because we signed Mamardashvili when we are not in desperate need for a goalkeeper. This Kvaratskhelia transfer could be a similar story. Liverpool are not desperate for a forward, but that's when you want to strengthen. Liverpool, when we won the Champions League and the Premier League, we haven't really strengthened after being, the top team in Europe and in the top team in England, and it caught up with Liverpool. So now Liverpool want to avoid that kind of situation. Both Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota are going to be 2 years out from the end of their contracts. Will Liverpool offer new contracts to Jota and Diaz? Will Diaz be sold to Barcelona? And from Spain, there is a lot of interest in Luis Diaz. Diogo Jota has a questionable injury record as well. So you all have to question, or you all have to factor in all these decisions. Darwin Núñez could be sold easily in the summer transfer window because of his numbers. It doesn't look great. So Liverpool definitely need to sign an attacker to future-proof our attacking positions. David Lynch said he wouldn't be shocked if Darwin Núñez was sold in the summer. At the moment, he's a real candidate for a sale, so that would open up a place in the forward line as well, and Luis Diaz could play up front with Jota, and that frees up a left-wing position for Kvaratskhelia as well. You have to keep an eye on Federico Chiesa in this window. It clearly hasn't worked out so far. He's struggling with the physicality of the Premier League, and we keep seeing links to Napoli popping up, and it just makes me think, if he's a player that Napoli would want to replace Kvaratskhelia, then surely Napoli, there is some deal to be done where Chiesa goes to Napoli and Kvaratskhelia comes to Liverpool. So a lot depends on, of course, whether Chiesa is willing to make that move or not. But at the moment, that's the latest situation. I wanted to give you guys an update. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.